Hi guys, and welcome to my tank top review. It is finally finished. Sorry, my hair's a wreck. I will warn you, this is going to get a little bit personal so that I can show you what I'm talking about. So, I'll do a full shot so you can see it from top to bottom as a steel. But it is finished. It's got the yellow panel in the back because I did not have enough green yarn, which I will talk about in a minute. It comes all the way to the very bottom, my armpit, and does not show any of my bra, which makes me very happy because I've always been very self-conscious about that. So for this piece, I cast on, 300 and some odd stitches. And while I was working on it, somebody on Instagram decided that you have a different measurement on your back versus your bust, in the front, which is very true, and I had never thought about it that way. So when I divided my stitches down here for the front and the back, that was the number I used. So the number of stitches, according to my gauge, for the front was based on the number of inches in the front, which for me is 32. The back is 18. Very big difference. So the back and the decreasing work, I am very, very pleased with the way it came out, where everything falls and the way it looks. The front, not as much. There's still a little bit more fabric here in the armpits that I'm just not real happy with. I would have decreased some more before going into the neck area, which was part of the plan, was to work a few more decreases and then work just straight up. However, this was also my first time working with a plant fiber in knitting. I've crocheted with bamboo, and it was just a shawl, so the gauge did not matter. I had never knitted with a bamboo or a bamboo blend, and this is a blend. And the pattern is nice, and I did a gauge swatch, and I followed all those rules and what have you, and it still came out a whole lot bigger than it should have, which I think is part of the reason I ran out of yarn. Can't really see. It's not as tight around as I had planned, though I am pleased with the way it fits. It's still not as tight as I had planned, so that took more yarn to go round and round further than what I had done the math and planned for to begin with. And this area here, just, like I said, there's just this much too much fabric. And yeah, like if I could tack it, see, I could tack it. That's about how much fabric less I would do. So if I were to do this in wool, probably not with the slip stitch pattern because it would take forever. And this was my first shot. I'll have another shot. Not in my next one because it's a cardigan and I'm not, because of the fronts, I'm not going to worry about that kind of shaping with the front having more fabric than the back. I don't think, though I'm not 100% on that yet. So this slip stitch pattern I am very pleased with. The yarn itself I am very pleased with. Unfortunately, it is discontinued. If you want to know more about it, it is on my Ravelry project page. I believe this one is called Sweater Design 1. I am Azariah on Ravelry. That's Azariah. So yeah, so that's the fit. It is very cool. And we're 100 degrees today, and I would probably survive in this just fine. I have worn it once. I just keep forgetting about it. Part of it because it's been down here, because I wanted to do this review. So yeah, the only thing that I would change, it's not that I'm displeased, I would change, is the extra fabric here in the front. And that is just because I was not able to do some more decreasing to get to the same width, because ultimately by the time you get up here, you need the same width in the front and the back, but not down here. This is where the extra bulk needs to be, which it is. It just went too high because the gauge was wrong, because plant fibers tend to stretch. And so when I hold it up from the back, especially since I have a yellow panel in the back, you can see how much wider the front is on each side than the back. And then here's the front. You can see right here. See, this is where the issue came in. Because the yellow panel on my back hits maybe an inch lower than where I should have been finished decreasing, and I wasn't. It wasn't till the very end here that I was finished decreasing. And I think that's what makes the difference in the extra fabric in the armpit area that I was not liking. I don't know if the light's going to allow. Yeah, you can kind of see the stitch texture there. And then the edgings around the bottom, the neck, and the arm sleeves, the armholes, is just seat stitch. I would totally do this again. Like I said, I would work on getting the front fixed, but I'm not concerned enough about it that I'm about to rip this piece apart and fix it. So it's not a very long piece. Like I said, I'll do a full shot so that you can see how long it actually is. Thank you for joining me in Azariah's studio today for my tank top review. Sweater design number 1 of 2020. And as always, happy making.